Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Going to talk about something that it's universal for moving our lives forward, but sometimes we feel it's not there. And it comes down to one word, the word hope. Having faith that I can move my life forward, that there are good things out there. How do you embody that? How do you keep that with you so that you can navigate some of the challenges in life and feel that you can move forward? We're going to talk about that today. She gives people hope all the time through a wonderful counseling center in Massachusetts that supports not only children, adults. She has a wonderful staff, and it's great to have her back here. Sherri Alexandrovich joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you doing today?
Wonderful, and so great to have you back with us. And this is after a pretty amazing trip that you took. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So New Beginnings is one of the major sponsors and donors for Blessed Nourishment, which is a nonprofit that supports the impoverished kiddos down in Ghana. And so what we were able to do is was to be able to go down there for the week. And there were 3 elementary schools that we visited. And while we were there, we provided backpacks and hot lunches, school supplies, 50 uniforms, which was kind of like a drawing of the names. And then in addition to that, we went to the orphanage, which was about 4 hours from where we were staying. And while we were there are 76 individuals that live at the orphanage, and they range everywhere from ages 2 up to age 28. And so what Blessed Nourishment and New Beginnings Wellness Center was able to do was to build a dining hall, which is something that the kids did not have.
Wow.
It was just incredible. And we did the unveiling while we were there and the ribbon cutting, and that was pretty amazing. We were able to provide food and different supplies for their water filtration system, as well as New Beginnings set up a scholarship, which will be done yearly. So it's going to be $1,000 for the top 2 students every year that graduate, to be able to go down to a university or the local college that's down there. We also did a new sign for them down there. We brought school supplies and soccer balls and games, and it was just such an amazing experience to be able to go down there. And everybody was just so grateful and so welcoming. And so I woke up this morning. Today's my birthday, and
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And so Sharisa, who is the founder of Blessed Nourishment, and she also works for me at New Beginnings, she had sent me over some videos from the kids over at the schools that were singing happy birthday. So that was just an absolutely amazing thing to wake up to this morning. And so we just have such great plans moving forward. We want to build some additional bedrooms down there. And one of the, it was kind of a bittersweet trip for us, because going down there and seeing how much good we could do, but then leaving and knowing that, especially for the kids at the orphanage, sleeping on the floors, they don't have beds, 8 or 10 kids per room. Not always
you want to do more. You just want to do more.
Yeah. And we were able to get a nurse and a doctor to come with us kind of last minute and go down and do checks on the kiddos and check their vision and their hearing. And we're getting a list of what it is that they need. There's a couple of kids that are going to need some glasses and some hearing aids. And so it was just wow. You just wanted to just stay there and do more. And so my grandson had come with us, who I adopted. So he's 10, and he was able to read stories to the kiddos and help kind of distribute the supplies. And I think you had said you had saw the pictures, and the smile on his face was just unbelievable, just to be able to go down there and do those things.
I could look at these pictures all day long and then repeat it again tonight. This is why you are our Diamond of the Decade, because your center is called new beginnings, but that's what you're giving those children in another country.
Yeah.
And just, you know, there's pictures of them holding up signs. They call you
I
Auntie
know,
Sherri.
I know, my goodness. I
Like,
was like, oh, yeah, it was when we did the ribbon cutting and the unveiling for the dining hall, it was just the tears. You couldn't help. Just, the in the back of the dining hall were sinks, and the pictures that we have of just these kids, they didn't have sinks there. So they're like washing their hands and playing in the water. And I have some pictures of some of the kids. They've never seen bubbles before, and they're blowing bubbles. And it was
mm,
just absolutely
wow.
incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I,
incredible.
this brings back a memory. I broadcast live from the Caribbean, and I knew that we might be visiting an orphanage. And,
Mhm.
I brought some stuff with me, and my radio co host at the time, her husband, was a children's author, a book author.
Okay.
And he brought some of his books with him. And just that alone was like they won the lottery. Giving them a pencil
Mhm.
was like winning the lottery. And
Mhm.
now looking at what you did with the backpacks and everything that you've helped them with and provided for them, my gosh, it is just going to make learning so much easier. A sense of pride. You gave them hope. You gave them hope that somebody they know, some, mom and dad and their relatives, teachers care for them, but now they feel it from, call it a stranger.
It,
What
it
a
was
game!
it
What a
was
game changer!
incredible. It was an incredible experience to be able to go down there, and like you said, just the gratitude, the look on their faces when you were handing out the pencils and the erasers and all the different school supplies. They just the gratitude and the joy on their faces, just to see them smiling and laughing and over
Yeah.
getting the basic necessities, things that we come home and here in the United States or in Massachusetts and take for granted and really just don't understand the magnitude of. And for
Mm.
them to be able to have their checkups and get their eyesight checked and musical instruments and all of the wonderful things that we are just kind of going to be moving forward with is just, it just makes my heart feel so happy to be able to do that and to be able to just, share that
Mm.
with everybody there was just an incredible experience.
It's genuine when you look at them. Of course, they're children, so you're going to
Yeah.
get the real deal anyway. But
Mhm.
you just you feel the. I'm a big believer in energy. Everything is energy,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you feel the energy from those pictures. Just it's like
Yeah.
just I can't even put it in words. Um,
Yeah.
there's hope there. How how do you help people with your counselors that have challenges and don't feel that hope so much to move their
Mhm.
lives forward, or at the very least even have faith in themselves to move life forward?
Mhm. So one of the things that we really focus a lot on here with our therapists is being able to meet the client where they're at and kind of explore what's going on in their life. And then taking that individual experience for each of our clients and helping them to see the what's next, in that forward movement and that we kind of talked a little bit about last time that we had met is just really so important. And I think that one of the things that we all have to just be super mindful of is meeting them where they're at. And so every individual experience or achievement or accomplishment for that one person in
Mm.
itself is an amazing thing to be able to help them to navigate through and just to see that the challenges, every day is a new beginning, building blocks to a brighter future. That's really what the foundation of new beginnings is. And we might take a step back, we might take two steps forward, but we don't lose what we've gained, and that experience and that knowledge to be able to continue with that forward movement and that hope and being able to instill that, I think is really what the new beginnings here that we really focus on with our families, with our clients, with our individuals. And that's just so important. it's not our job to make a judgment or to tell anybody what is their individual experience or what does success look like for them. And that can be measured in so many different ways. And it's just being mindful for what does that look like and giving them the coping skills to be able to move past whatever is going on for them and be supportive. And sometimes they just need somebody that's going to listen and let them know that we're here and we're going to walk that journey with them and be able to help them to navigate whatever path it is that they take. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how we got to our end goal. It's that we got there, and that's what's important. And we might take several different ways, and that may be different for everybody else, but the end result is still just something that's just magnificent to watch and to experience.
That must be one of the most gratifying things that you experience in what you do, seeing those aha moments, seeing those changes, or when somebody has that realization, my gosh, where I came from and where I am now. And after going through some challenges, somebody having that realization of, wow, I'm stronger than I ever thought I would ever be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes you just need someone to believe in you. And that's it. It really can be just that simple. Just sitting with somebody and letting them know that they're not alone and that there is somebody out there that cares or somebody out there that has had that same experience. And, our yesterday doesn't have to define our tomorrow. We can just keep moving forward and learn from the lessons that we've had and be able to just take those lessons and just continue with our forward movement and not get caught up on kind of some of that stuff in the background, that we may have already overcome or some mistakes that we may have made. I mean, that's okay. That we're all human, and that's what makes us all wonderful individual creatures. And, for me, some of the most rewarding moments are when I get those text messages 6 months, 2 years, a year after I've closed a client and, hey, Sherri, just wanted to let you know that I finally got my license, or I got a job, or I got accepted into college. And hey, thanks for being there when I needed you, or that invitation to graduation. And I get so emotional because the fact that they thought to reach out, whatever time frame had gone by, to let me know that they've achieved that milestone, and they knew that it didn't matter what that time frame was that they achieved it. They were so proud of themselves that they wanted to just, let me know that. And for me, that just is just unexplainable, just beyond words. It's just such a gratifying thing to experience and be part of.
It's why you're here.
Yeah, I believe that this was my journey. This is what I was meant to do. This is why I've had the experiences that I've had. And, I kind of touched upon it a little bit last time we talked about, I didn't come from where I am today, and so all of my experiences and journeys and obstacles and even my trauma has really helped to give me the path and the passion of where I am today, and to be able to just have that genuine empathy and understanding for not just the clients, but for everybody that I encounter, to be able to just say, I get it. I understand. I know what that's like. That's hard. And you can move forward and you can make changes and you can be the person that you want to be, because I believe in you. And I can believe in you enough for you to believe in you. And then together we're going to just kind of walk forward and just make those accomplishments.
Do you feel, Sherri, that the only way that we can realize that faith or that resilience in ourselves is to go through the unpleasant things?
Yeah. Well, you have to get through it to go through it. And without that gauge, how do you know, what's wonderful, right? I mean, so sometimes we take things for granted, or we don't understand the challenges that some other people have. And there is a lesson in every single thing that the universe throws at us. There is an absolute lesson in there. And there's something that we need to learn, or there was something that we needed to overcome in order to be able to accomplish what our goals are and have that point of reference.
Mm.
And so for me, I'll tell you, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not grateful that I have a roof over my head. I have a vehicle to get me to and from. When things come up, like school events, for my grandson, he's 10 and I've had him since he's been 3 weeks old. And it's just so very different than when I was parenting and a single mom with my kids, and I was bartending nights and raising 4 kids. I had my niece and my nephew, and just the panic of somebody lost a tooth. The tooth fairy needs to come, right? Those
And can I add something here?
yes,
I'm feeling you right now. The tooth fairy needs to come, and I can't screw this up.
right.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
It is when
Right?
you don't know where the tooth fairy's, money is gonna come
Right,
from. And
right, right.
you get creative and some of the things that you have to do. And
Yeah. Yeah. And in those moments, there's a lot riding on that. You're going to make sure
oh,
that the tooth fairy does the right thing.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and you right down to allowing the tooth fairy into somebody's room so that they, tooth fairy can leave something, and all the logistics involved in that while you're doing your stressful life.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just staying focused on what it is that you need to do as a mom. And just every day I'm just so grateful that I don't have to worry about those things right now. Like for today, those are things that, like the other night I got woken up at 10:30 at night. Yeah. I lost a tooth. And in my mind I thought, okay, click, right? It wasn't that going through sofas and checking the bottom of your purse and looking for, it's like,
Yep.
even now at 55, being able to say, woo, it's a heartwarming, good place to be, to know, and to be able to give to other people who don't have that.
Yep.
For me, it's just so rewarding, and it's just so amazing.
When did you realize, after you opened this wellness center with this amazing clinical team, and the fact that not only do you, offer medication management, counseling, behavioral services, you work with school districts, all of that. Big, like, blows my mind that your center is involved in so many things, and even going to other countries to help. When did you realize that you achieved that goal of wanting to help people? Do you remember that moment where you said, this thing is real, and this is growing, and this is the direction I should be going in?
I would say that probably the first year that we were voted Best Behavioral Health Clinic of Worcester for me
Mm,
was
mm,
that was pretty profound, to know that we are making such an impact in the community, and being able to do the help that we do was really rewarding. And I would say probably the biggest moment was Ghana. I'm not going to lie, that was indescribable.
mm.
To be able to be in Ghana and have someone say to me, hey, we have an opportunity to bring some medical staff down, but this is what the extra cost is going to be. And for me to be able to just make that donation in that moment without hesitation was full circle for me.
Wow.
That was pretty full circle for me, is that this is what,
This is what it's all about.
yeah, I get so emotional because this has been what I've worked my whole life for, is to be able to do these things.
You brought back memories. I supported a girl in the Caribbean decades ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't lost touch, with her. Saw her from an 8-year-old grow up. They send you pictures, right? Um, I just remembered her name, and I'm going to reach back and see if I could find her, see how she's doing.
Oh, yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
remember This is
Yeah.
decades. Rika Boucher.
Yeah.
It just popped in my
Mm,
mind. And I love the Caribbean. So that's,
yeah.
kind of a passion for me.
Hmm.
I love the
Hmm.
culture of all different areas there. And that was, one of the reasons why I wanted to give back, because I've gotten so much out of going there, either, for pleasure, vacation, or work. I've done a lot of work there broadcasting live. Um, and when I think of it, like I want to connect, just like you wanted to connect with those students in West Africa. My
Yeah.
gosh. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. And, I posted it on my Facebook, and the amount of overwhelming responses that I got from people who want to now donate more to Blessed Nourishment so that we can build all of these additional things at the orphanage was just absolutely amazing. And just, just a reminder of how much everybody still has faith and has hope, and
Hmm.
sometimes they just need to be presented with something, and that just like flourishes and brings out all of this additional help for causes like this, that it's so heartwarming. It's amazing.
And that hope and faith can come in any form. It could
Hmm.
come in the form of a backpack to a child in
Hmm.
West Africa. It could
Yeah.
come in the form of a phone call. Somebody says something and you got renewed faith, like, oh, wow, they
Yeah.
appreciate what I did. It could come in a sign that you see.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
amazing how
Absolutely.
just saying something to somebody else can just move their life forward with a few words. We forget.
Well, that's a very powerful statement that you just said, because the power of words is
Mm,
just it's amazing what you can do to help somebody just with
yeah.
positivity and just with support. And one of the things that is, a big thesis for me when I was doing my master's degree was the difference between the impact on verbal and emotional abuse and physical and or sexual abuse, and what that difference is and how it impacts us, because the bruises, they heal, but what people say to you, that stays here, that stays inside of you, and that carries forward, and people don't see that on the outside. People
Mm.
don't know what's going on. You never know what somebody's experiencing inside of their heart or inside of their life in that moment, and it's a choice that we make to be kind. It's a choice that we make to pause and to stop and to be able to take a breath before we say our next sentence, because that next sentence is so powerful and can have such an impact on either a positive or a negative way. And it's so important that as a society that we remember that, and we respect one another's opinions, and we just always, our way is not always the right way, right?
Mm.
It's okay that everybody has a difference of opinion.
Isn't it amazing in this age of technology, social media? There's like so much going on, but it comes down to the same thing. It's connected to words. You see a post, you see a reel. Many times you get, sucked into the rabbit hole, and you're
Yeah.
watching stuff, but it's not just the visual. There's usually words that come with it. Everything words go back to that book called the Bible. What I'm not going religion here. I'm just
Right.
talking centuries,
Absolutely.
and it's still meaningful now. And just a few words. Words can be a weapon, but words can also be hope and faith. And just I was at the gym last week, and somebody was working out. This guy was working out in front of me. Don't even know who he is, and he had a shirt on, and it just made such a difference. And I look at him like, dude, best shirt ever. And I left him alone. Like, just he knew I was just saying, have a
Right.
great day. The shirt said, "You are enough."
Mhm. Mhm.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like it's like whoa, okay.
Hmm.
Just somebody wearing a shirt. He's sending that message to others, and
Hmm.
somebody could be having a really challenging day and read that and like, oh wow, okay, all right. I got a little
It's
hope. Three
so true.
words.
I actually, I got a little sticker that said that, you are enough, for one
Oh,
of my teenage clients, and she has it on her rearview mirror so that whenever she looks up, that she can see that. And that's just another reminder of that she is enough.
yeah,
And
powerful, powerful.
yeah, yeah.
Sherri, how do we find out about the center? What's the best way to learn more? The website?
The website, absolutely. New Beginnings Wellness Center, WC. And so it's everything, all of our information is on that website. You can make a referral. You can see, our staff, who our supervisors are, some of the programs, the insurances that we offer. One of the things that we'll be adding will be a link over to the Blessed Nourishment, which is where you can, because we're a for-profit, so we don't accept donations. We're an insurance-driven organization, but
Sure.
Blessed Nourishment is a nonprofit, and that's something that we're going to be attaching to our website so that people can come and, go there and be able to make a donation, or to be able to support kind of the ongoing cause that we have going on in Ghana, and, the different projects that we have that we're going to start
Beautiful.
funding
Beautiful.
moving forward.
I have one request.
Yes.
Call it a suggestion. When you
Okay.
create that page on your website,
Mhm.
can you please include some of the pictures from your trip?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes. We have
It's-
so many pictures, and actually there's a documentary that's being done from somebody that lives in Ghana that was a photographer. So Sharice's fiance, and he was documenting the whole trip and everything that we've done. And so I'm super excited for that to come out and be
Wow.
able to share that as well. That'll be pretty impactful, I think, for a lot of people.
You gave them hope, but telling your story gives others hope. And for that, I thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for being
much.
our Diamond of the Decade, and looking forward next time we get together.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
I appreciate you. We'll be right
Oh.
back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.